Hello and welcome to our programme. With global financial markets in turmoil, Parliament began its plenary session with a debate on next week's EU summit. MEPs discussed Europe's reaction to the financial crisis and the path ahead following Ireland's no vote.
As European banks falter, with forced mergers and government bailouts, the Council and the Commission faced the European Parliament on Wednesday. Commission President José Manuel Barroso urged European countries to cooperate to handle the crisis.
The gravity of the financial crisis is clear to all of us, and it is absolutely right that it should be at the core of the European Council next week. Addressing this crisis is an important test for the financial sector, for the Member States, for Europe and its institutions, for the international financial institutions. There is a wide variety of players involved: banks and other financial institutions, supervisors, the ECB and other central banks, the national governments, the Commission. So we need coordination. And events are moving very quickly, so we need speed.
EPP-ED Group Chairman Joseph Daul was the first MEP to take the floor in the debate. Addressing the plenary, he underlined the seriousness of the crisis for ordinary Europeans.
The financial crisis our economies are suddenly facing is very worrying. There is concern for our economy, concern for European jobs, but foremost concern for the millions of people who, having worked and saved, securing a decent retirement and a legacy for their children, learn that the fruits of their efforts are at risk or have vanished without their knowledge.
Gunnar Hökmark, Vice Chairman of the EPP-ED Group, blamed the American subprime crisis on decisive political interventions, not on the market forces.
What we need now is to secure that we have transparency and accountability and a supervision that is covering the modern markets as they are. They are European, they are global, and we need to secure that we can catch up with the reality regarding financial markets. Then we can also be constructive regarding the development of the real economy. Thank you.
On the Lisbon Treaty, Daul was willing to show patience with the Irish government in finding a solution.
We understand the Irish situation, and we understand the Irish government needs time to find answers for its citizens after the vote, and we respect that. But even if the European Union is willing to show patience and understanding, in the medium to long term, the status quo is untenable.
The recent parliamentary elections in Belarus, where President Lukashenko's party claimed to win all seats, has caused deep unease in the European Union. Parliament adopted a resolution condemning the failure of Belarus to organise free and fair elections.
Alaksander Milinkevich, leader of the Belarus opposition, whose party is excluded from the Belarusian parliament, participated in the EPP-ED group meeting to explain the situation. He said that there is a risk of Russia having full control of the country if the economy collapses due to the increase of petrol and gas prices provided by Moscow.
If we do not change anything, in the next couple of years, our country's debt will reach $10 to $15 billion, and this will be a disaster for us, and we will become a Russian protectorate. Who could be a partner to the modernisation of our economy? I cannot see anybody else to help us but the European Union.
He called for a continuation of the dialogue between the EU and the Belarusian government, however inconceivable it may appear to have discussions with a dictator.
How can we cooperate with a dictator? It is a very particular situation, and I am fighting with my fellow compatriots for freedom, but above all for the independence of our country.
Aujourd'hui, je dis que je lutte avant tout pour l'indépendance, bien sûr à la fois pour la liberté.
Football is a mass phenomenon and a popular activity which attracts millions of players of all ages and entertains hundreds of millions of fans around the world. FIFA boss Sepp Blatter spoke to MEPs in a meeting of the Committee on Culture.
Football professional bodies, UEFA for Europe and FIFA worldwide, along with the European Union, try to establish rules that will favour the home ground identities of the teams. As soon as the debate started, divergences of opinion so have arisen. FIFA has proposed the 6-5 rule, which means that 6 out of 11 players must be eligible for national teams, while UEFA proposes the homegrown rule, where 8 out of 25 players are locally trained. The first rule is in conflict with EU treaties on the free movement of workers and has met with the opposition of big clubs.
Within the limits of the law, to ensure that these crucial sporting objectives be achieved. And which are they? Education, motivation, identification, balance into the competitions, to avoid concentrations.
Ivo Belet, EPP-ED Group member and Parliament rapporteur on the future of professional football, admitted that FIFA has good intentions.
European Union, but also UEFA and FIFA, I think we share the same concern. We are worried about the way football is moving, with clubs being taken over by rich investors from elsewhere in the world. 100% agree with the objectives. We know that 6+5 is in contradiction with present EU law.
The issue looks like a Gordian knot. Each side has its own reasons and good arguments. However, the solution is somewhere in the middle, as suggested Ivo Belet.
You know that we therefore have supported the homegrown rule. Manolis Mavromatis has referred to his report and to my report, and that has been adopted by a large majority in European Parliament. Homegrown rule not as a final instrument, but as perhaps an intermediary step.
For further information on our policies, log on to our website, epp-ed.eu. This programme was brought to you by the press service of the EPP-ED Group, the largest political group in the European Parliament. See you again soon.